So, my poor transmission whines in first gear and second gear, and every other gear is quiet as a mouse. I'm suspicious of low fluid, but kind of weirded out by the fact that third, fourth, fifth, and sixth don't do it. Heck, even reverse, that which is straight cut, doesn't make this kind of a noise. I mean, it does if you go fast enough backwards, but typically just going slow, you don't hear it make noise. But give her a shot here. Second gear. There's third gear. And third gear is totally quiet. So I'm going to change the transmission fluid and see if that helps any. Alright, so here's the service information for changing the transmission fluid in this car. We can see the drain plug is right below the axle on the driver's side here. Little arrow means front of the car, always. And this is the fun part. There's no dipstick, well, which is normal because it's a manual transmission. But drain fluid into a clean container. And, okay, 10 minutes. And record the transmission fluid amount. There's no level plug. GM, get your act together. Anyway, so you drain it, measure it, and then you just put 2 quarts back in it, which is right there on top of the transmission next to the little shifter there hanging out. So there's the driver's side axle. Once again, our arrow pointer is in front of the car. So we'll drain it and measure it and put 2 quarts back in it. So there's our fill plug right there, the little Allen key. Should be a 10 millimeter. Now I am going to loosen that plug first and remove it, because if I can't get it out, there's no point in draining it, because you don't want to drain the fluid and then have no way of getting fluid back into it. Oh, jeez. Usually once you break these things loose, they'll come out by hand. Usually. Which this one is. And there it is. Now, I am going to leave this here just a couple threads, just to keep dirt and stuff out of it, so it's not open to the air. It's down under the car now. Hoping it's the same 8 millimeter plug. Let's see, it's right there. And I can't tell. It's filled with garbage. So the drain plug is a 10 millimeter. And the fill plug was an 8. In these scenarios where you can see I don't have any space between the frame rail and the end of the socket, I'm going to show you what I like to do to get these out. So the entire Allen key is 10 millimeter, so I like to put a wrench through it first, and then I can put my socket on the bolt. Make sure the Allen key is all the way in there, and then I can just use the wrench like normal. There you can see it coming right out. And then, once it's broke loose, the Allen key back in there, and then you can use the opened end to then remove it. Focus, there we go. Quick. Alright, now this pan has a little bit of stuff in it, but it'll give us an idea. We'll be able to tell if 2 quarts came out of it or not, so not really that worried about the precise measurement. Alright, now that it's loose enough to get out my fingers, remember to pull the Allen key out first, otherwise it tends to bottom itself out against the frame and then you can't get anything apart. Now, fluid so far does not look that great. I'm assuming the fluid will be a translucent color, which this doesn't really appear to be. Alright, well, let's pull it the rest of the way out and see what we get. At least it's not making a mess. Oh my goodness, it's everywhere. I've seen cleaner fluid come out of my cat. This kind of sprays it everywhere. It's just a big mess. That looks like chocolate milk. I'm supposed to let it drain for 10 minutes according to the service information. The service information also said to not reuse this drain plug, which is, you know, obviously not going to happen. I'm going to reuse it. That's stupid. maybe GM, if anybody's listening, if you didn't use inferior parts, you wouldn't have to replace them every time you were done with them. Now keep in mind, the threads for these plugs are tapered, so there's no need to absolutely kill them or bottom them out, because they won't bottom out. If you get them too tight, they have the potential to split the case, which is obviously a bad thing. So we're gonna go until this gets fairly snug, which is about there, and then we're gonna leave it. Remember, if it leaks or seeps out a little bit, you can always tighten it more later. But you always want to check them too after a test drive. All right, let's put some new fluid in it. Before I put fluid in this, I should mention that this stuff takes a special type of fluid, GL4 rated, which for whatever reason, the parts stores in my town didn't carry GL4 for whatever reason, so I ended up having to go get the factory stuff, AC Delco. This stuff is, what was it? $30 a quart, and I need 2 of them. And so I found a dude on eBay that had 5 brand new quarts for 60 bucks. So you know where I went. Well, I had a big long funnel, but I don't know where it is. So I guess I'm just going to try to not spill it. There, what can go wrong? All right, let's see what color the new fluid is. Oh, look how it's nice and translucent. It doesn't look like poo-poo garbage. I feel so bad for this transmission. At least it had fluid. I mean, it's better than not having anything, but... Alright, thank you, funnel. Come out of there, please. Alright, now this plug isn't a tapered thread, so this one you will go until it bottoms out. And then just a tiny little snug. It doesn't hold anything in, so there's no need to kill it. Nothing leaking out of the bottom so far. Quick check. It's not leaking, and it's very unlikely that it will leak after this because there's no pressure or anything here when you drive it. So if it's not leaking now, it should be fine. And I'm gonna give it a little spritz. So if it does leak, I can see it better. The fact that this has like that swirliness into it, kind of hard to see over the reflection, but see how I can kind of like put swirls into it? That is all of grinding material floating into fluid. Not good. It's still kind of translucent a little bit, but she's still pretty dark. I'm just going to measure it in this old bottle. We should see it come to this 2 here on the quarts. So the fact that that is basically at 2 quarts can account for some losses, like not all of it drained, for example. So technically I overfilled it, but I'm not really that concerned about it. This is great from a standpoint of a transmission isn't leaking. So it just means that somebody has never changed the fluid. So there's a pretty good chance that that fluid hasn't been changed in the 140,000 miles that this car's been on the road. All right. I'm assuming that if this fluid change does fix it, it will take a little while to work into the gears and bearings and stuff. So we'll go for a drive. Sounds identical so far. I'm gonna drive it around here for a bit and I'll come back after a few miles. Alright, it's been a couple miles. Fluid's been splashing around in there for a little while. Let's see. Been cruising for a few miles, so we'll see how first is now. Still making noise. As of right now, nothing has gotten any better. It shifts the same, it's not any smoother, and first and second are still pretty loud. So maybe the damage is already done. Either way, if it gets better over time, I will update you accordingly. It's a few hundred miles later, and the drain plug still isn't leaking a drop, so that's what we like to see.